Hey gearheads, and welcome to Garage Talk. I'm Corey, and that is the latest EV to hit the market. One of only a handful in the entire country right now. That is the 2024 Chevy Blazer EV. This one is the all-wheel drive RS trim. And in this video, I'm going to take you on not only my first look, but perhaps your first look as well. Stay tuned. All right, gearheads, before we get too far into this one, I do want to say a very big thank you to James Tate and the team at Gabriel Jordan Chevrolet here in Henderson, Texas, where I am getting my first access to this. I have not even been inside one of these yet through all my connections with Chevrolet. These things really are that rare. So not only is this video special for me because it's my first time inside one, I actually get to drive it. And since we're up front and the hood is already popped open, we'll go ahead and say it is a double latch inside that allows you just to lift it up when you get outside. There's really nothing to talk about under the hood because yes, this is an all-electric vehicle powered by General Motors' new Ultium battery technology. This is, as I mentioned in the intro, an all-wheel drive option. What is unique about the Blazer EV is the fact that you can get a front-wheel drive, an all-wheel drive, or a rear-wheel drive configuration. This really is a customizable vehicle that we really haven't seen the likes of as far as power and propulsion, like ever. Front, rear, or all-wheel drive options. It's quite crazy. But yes, you can see there is nothing of substance underneath the hood here. No frunk, no access panel really to the engine. It really is just a plastic panel. I don't know why you would need to open this, but being that this is the all-wheel drive RS version, it does make 498 horsepower and 531 pound-feet of torque. And it is to all four wheels, and it is instantaneous torque. So one of the great things about EVs are they're quick. Now, unfortunately, it has not rained here in forever, and the day I decided to review this very exclusive first look at the Blazer EV, it decides to be a gray overcast day. Could it be that the gods are lamenting the Blazer name being used on an electric crossover SUV? Well, yes, this is not the best naming structure. I have long held that Chevrolet should have called this the Nomad. It absolutely would have fit better with this essentially tall, long wagon versus an off-road SUV. But now that I've got the hood closed, we can look at the styling of it. I think it is actually very attractive, stealing styling cues from the gas-powered Blazer, which itself steals design cues from the, may she rest in peace, Chevy Camaro. This thing really looks sharp. We've got that LED light bar that runs across the entire front, and you can see these Thor's hammer type running lights over top of the LED headlights. It really is a nice sharp look up front, and then you get the blacked out fake or faux grille. You can see just around the front-facing camera, there is a little bit of air pass-through to get in to help cool off the batteries. There is also some air pass-through down below it. And then we do have that large radar adaptive cruise sensor down on the bottom. But all around, it is a very handsome, very muscular front end, if I do say so myself. Being an EV, one of the big stories is its efficiency, and you can see here we do have some air curtains to direct air around the front of the vehicle and down to the side. And like I said, this really is more of a tall, long wagon than it is a true SUV of sorts. This really does fit in nicely head-to-head against the Ford Mustang Mach-E, though I feel like this is a little bit bigger. And because it doesn't have to hold to any Mustang or, in this case, Camaro design themes, I think designers were a little more free to do what they would with it. I think this is overall more attractive than the gas-powered Blazer. Again, it seems a little bit longer, lower, wider, and muscular, which this being an on-road vehicle really makes more sense. But again, I really just wish they had called this the Nomad instead of the Blazer. The Blazer name to me means off-road toughness, especially in a market where Bronco is back and is very much in the off-road market. It's just a shame that Blazer is not. I will go ahead and come over here to the driver's side where the charge port is. You can see here we've got a couple lines here. You push right there and the electric door opens up. Not the biggest fan of this because one, that's just something that it has the potential to break with this electric motor. Two, it is a really large panel. And three, it's kind of slow. When you get it open, you can see the J1772 and the CCS charge port. You know, as with most EV companies, EV manufacturers, most everybody is switching over to the quote-unquote Tesla plug, or as it is now known, NACS, North America Charging Standards. So if that is a big deal to you, you might wait until the whole Ultium line switches over to NACS versus this older style CCS plug. Pushing the button here, you can see just how slow this charge port door takes to close back. Oh my goodness, quite slow. As we move down, we can check out these very interesting aerodynamic wheels. A lot of black to hide just how much material is in the wheel itself, which again helps with aerodynamic efficiency. These are wrapped in Bridgestone Alenza rubber. These are 275/45 R21-inch Bridgestone Alenza tires wrapped around these 21-inch wheels. Very nice. On my limited time in it thus far, I would say these are very good tires. The Bridgestone Alenza is being used across the General Motors lineup. We just got out of the GMC Sierra 1500 Denali Ultimate, which also rode on 22-inch Bridgestone Alenza. These are obviously made for EV duty, but yeah, fairly nice tire. Not exactly performance worthy, and again, neither is the weather today, must say for myself. Coming around to the back, I really do like the back end styling of this. It is rather aggressive, very coupe-like with that very small back window. We'll get into exactly what it's like looking through that when we get inside, but you can see we've got LED lights back here as well. I did want to come in and show you exactly what the turn signals look like with them on. So this is the hazard lights, and you can see the top portion of those DRLs over top of the headlights are actually what flash. Just an interesting look if you are driving down the road. I like how it keeps that contiguous light bar running across the front in the white light, but still gives you a turn signal. And then as we come around to the back, I'm sure it is more of the same. With those waterfall taillights back here in the back. Yep, the upper portion is what actually flashes, and the lower portion just stays red for your DRLs. Very clean, very nice look. I like LED lights. They're a big selling point for me. I think they're bright and very helpful. I really like this kind of waterfall design that Chevy has been doing on all their vehicles moving forward. The new Chevy Traverse also has that waterfall design. Just kind of accentuates the width of this vehicle. Again, making this look lower, wider, and longer than the gas-powered Blazer. Coming to the Blazer name tag, you can see that blue E. That is the designation for all electric Chevrolet products. And as we look over here, this is the all-wheel drive RS. You can get a more powerful SS version that is just a little bit quicker than this one as well, but I really do think the RS version will be the most widely accepted. As we move down, you can see no exhaust ports, obviously, because no exhaust, but we get a blacked out bumper, kind of an aero-ish design back here, just to give it a sporty look. You can see right here, we do have 360 cameras all the way around on this, but we also have a rear view camera mirror, and that's the camera for that right there. The rear hatch is an electronic opening hatch, which gives you access to the very nice cargo space back here. And I will say, it is on the large side. We get this false load floor with even more hidden storage underneath. You get tools for changing a flat tire and maintaining the vehicle. It also comes with the charge cord bag and all the charge cord accessories. You can see here, Chevy actually gives you a 110 or a 220 option for their travel charger that goes with this vehicle. So just know you have options here with Chevrolet. The backs of these seats do have top tethers all the way across. We'll talk more about them When we get inside, the center seat belt has comes from the seat itself, not from the ceiling. The seats do fold down 60/40, but there are no latches back here to do it. You have to reach forward and do it from the over the shoulder on the seat itself, which is not too difficult for me at 5'10", but on a rainy day like today, I'm having to be very careful that I don't get my pants soaked on the rear bumper. But that is a nice look at what it's like to fold down the seats. And we have a massive amount of storage space in here, very wide, but a little on the low side, that low ceiling, but you can get a lot of stuff in here. I'll put the numbers on the screen if they are available to me. Like I said, the built-in price on this isn't even available yet. Coming to the hatch, I'm 5'10". This is its full opening position. You can see just above my head. And right up here is the power close button that allows it to close. All right, before we move into this one, I did want to show you the key. Typical GM Chevy key. This being the RS, we get a black bow tie on it, but as you flip it over, you can see all the usual suspects: lock, unlock, remote start, and hatch release, as well as a panic button. You can deploy a physical key here from the bottom, but all around, typical General Motors key. You can keep it in your pocket or purse, wherever you keep your key, and just walk up to the vehicle. I will note, Chevy doesn't do completely passive entry. They give you these lock unlock buttons, and I'll go ahead and note they are on all 4 doors. So if you come to any door that is not the driver on its initial setup, you can unlock all the doors by pushing those doors, but if you go to the driver door, it is a double press to unlock all the extra doors. Just a little extra peace of mind knowing that if you come up and unlock the vehicle, you're just unlocking yours. Those settings can be changed when you get inside to the screen. Looking at the door panel before we hop in completely, very nice use of different materials, textures, and looks here. I will say Chevy is doing a really good job mixing it up, making the door panels look visually interesting. We've got multicolored stitching, multiple fabrics. It is a really nice look. As we come up here, you can see 2-position driver memory with your door lock with an exit mode. We do get this nice armrest up top here with some contrasting stitching. It is an injection molded plastic, so it is not actually leather or anything like that. Same is true down here. It is not leather, but it is perhaps their imitation leather. Down here we get some fabric with some contrasting stitching. Really nice look. I really like the red, white, and blue motif that goes throughout this vehicle. You can see we have our mirror controls. They are power folding. Our window controls with only the driver express up and down. That seems like an oversight in a vehicle, I'll go ahead and tell you, with a $60,000 price tag, though this is eligible for the $7,500 tax credit for EVs. Here we get the hatch release button or open button. Chevy is stepping away from the little dial that they put in here where you can program different heights from the dial itself. So I would have to spend more time with this one to truly figure out if they've moved that to the screen like everything else. Fortunately, this is just a short loan from a dealership here for the afternoon. Moving over to the seats here, you can see we do get multi-position power seats for the driver and for the front passenger with 2-way lumbar. They are on the nice side as far as cushioning, not overly bolstered or anything like that. And again, going with that motif of giving you lots of different materials and textures, we've got a lot going on with these seats. Again, red and blue stitching on this one. We've got some suede on the headrest, which does have the RS logo embossed into it. Then we get some more of that, I'm sure, synthetic leather. We get kind of a denim type cloth material and then some more suede material. Again, very interesting use of textures and designs in this vehicle, again, with that red, white, and blue stitching throughout. Before I get in completely, I do want to show you the very interesting turbine style AC vents on this one. It is a very nice look, but you can see just how humid it is here in East Texas with it raining for the first time in forever. But it is a nice look, and we get a continuation of the materials and colors as we get over here. Let's go ahead and pop in so we can quit getting rained on and close the door. You will see the vehicle just turns itself on. It knows that I am in here with the key, so it turns itself on. You can also do that by putting your foot on the brake, and that lets the vehicle know, hey, I'm ready to go. But yeah, you can see all of the electronics. We'll get into that here in just a moment. But I did want to start over my left knee. Much like the midsize Chevy trucks, the GMC Canyon and the Chevy Colorado, we are ditching physical controls for the lights. That's not my favorite thing. Why? All the buttons. Why? Stop it. Stop it, GM. Questionable decision making for sure. Name of the game is simplicity, and when you can do it all through software, manufacturers are going to lean a little bit more into that. So the real proof of how annoying this is on the buying public. And if that drives you crazy, absolutely sound off and let Chevrolet and General Motors know. A very nice steering wheel here. You can see just a little bit of a flat bottom here on this RS model. It is a very hefty steering wheel. I like it. There's a lot of thickness to it. It is leather wrapped, and you can see we've got red stitching on the inside of it. Very nice. It is a very sporty wheel. I like it a lot. Definitely feels athletic in your hands. And then we've got some controls here for the screen here. That we'll get into here in just a moment. But I do want to call into attention the stalks on the back or behind the steering wheel on the steering column. So over here we have your brightness, your blinkers, your wipers, which have come in handy on a day like today. And then over here, Chevy is moving all driver controls to the right side of the steering wheel, kind of like Mercedes-Benz. We've noticed this in the new 2024 gas-powered Traverse, and they're trickling this down to all different vehicles. You just simply pull up on it and then, or pull it towards you and then push up for reverse, down for drive, and this button right here for park. So that is something that we are starting to see translate into more Chevy vehicles, whether gas-powered or electric. Coming to the driver screen here, it is a very nice driver information screen. It is an 11-inch diagonal screen with a bunch of different layouts. So this is perhaps my favorite. It is more on the traditional side, but you can see this button right here allows you to toggle through different screens here. You can do Google Maps. You can have your driver assistance stuff displayed. You can have a very minimalistic look, or you can have just a little bit more information right here. But again, this is my favorite look right here, showing you everything from your power output, your battery charge. You can see we are not at 100%, but we do have 204 miles. It will be good to go ahead and tell you this particular model with its all-wheel drive and its performance nature is rated from the government at 279 miles of range. As we look up, we do have a head-up display on this one. I'm going to do my best to show you here. You can see it contrasting against the green grass up there. It feels really far away. This dashboard feels very large. A 4th gen Camaro large. I know a lot of people have talked about the 4th gen Camaro having a picnic table for a dashboard. This is a rather large dashboard, but when it comes down to it, the materials are nice. It is not the hard plastic that we saw in the GMC Canyon. It is an injection molded plastic. Moving over here, this perhaps is the biggest news. It is a 17.7-inch freeform display, and I'm going to go ahead and show you here with Google Maps just how freeform the design is on this. You can see it doesn't fit exactly to a rectangle. I really like it. It is a very cool look. Not many manufacturers are doing this. It does give a more premium vibe, but the big news is for all General Motors electric vehicles, no Apple CarPlay, no Android Auto. They're leaning heavy on their partnership with Google, and so this uses Google built in. Just Apple CarPlay. Why? 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 Stop it. Stop it, GM. Questionable decision making for sure. So yes, I have paired my phone to this unit. It is your typical Bluetooth connection. No Android Auto or Apple CarPlay in this. We do get lots of USB-C ports, but we'll talk about that here in just a minute. Because I mentioned the headlights being, the headlight controls being moved to here. a lot of stuff has actually been moved to here. I'm going to go ahead and hit the home button. First, I want to call out the power button for that is right up here. You can double tap it. When I first got in it, it was a blank screen, and I double tapped it to get all this information here. When you're in the vehicle, you can turn the vehicle off right there. You can maintain the vehicle staying on if you get out by pushing that button right there. And then you have your light controls right here. I will note, much like in the GMC Canyon, if you turn the lights on through this switch here, they actually stay on when you leave the vehicle. So again, everything turns off when you get out of the vehicle. You have to come back in, push this button, and then go into your light controls. It's just, it's overly complicating things, in my opinion. Like, quit moving everything to the screen, GM. Oh, this is annoying. I will say down here, we still get a row of toggle buttons I like. It is not overkill like the Colorado and Canyon. Just enough. You get your fan speed, your auto, your on off. Everything else has been moved up here. It is a dual zone climate control. I really like that. With heated and ventilated front seats. Also really like that. Again, very simply controlled here through the bottom of the screen. And you can see as we go through different screen iterations, it does keep all those controls down there for you. So I like that. But again, you get a few shortcuts across the front here. Again, it's forgotten my phone, but Google built in. I'm not going to trigger her to show you anything right there. Lots of stuff to go through here. I'm just going to hit on the high notes. So you've got all your vehicle controls and settings right there. Your vehicle status controls a few different things, whether it be the energy info or your trip computer. So yes, to actually change the trip computer, I found this out with the GMC Canyon. You have to go through the screen here. You can't actually do it through the steering wheel. Again, just a little bit too annoying for me. I don't understand why everything is moved in and through the screen, but that is how you get to it there. Some charging functionality here. Again, shows you exactly where you are on your current charge. You can set it to stop at 80%. You can set schedules, things like that through the screen here. Do have access to the 360 cameras on this one. Really clear, crisp images. Although I feel like we're wasting a little bit of screen real estate on this one. You let me know, but I really like that. And you can see overhead, you can see normal, and you can actually see the side, the front, and I'm sure the rear when we get into it. That also triggers when you put it in reverse. And if you were to be towing with your EV, you can actually access it through there. A few other controls through controls, whether it be your head-up display, your dome light, but again, you can see more controls through here. Again, drive and park, one pedal driving. I'm actually going to turn that on. That'll come in handy when we get out in a little bit. Lots of stuff through the screen here. I don't have time to go through it all. The last one I will hit on is drive modes. I'm going to put it and leave it in sport just because, well, this is the RS. RS does mean rally sport after all. Air vents in this are really good. I really like the design. Again, that turbine design. I like that you get 3. And it really helps direct air all around the vehicle. Moving down even further, we've got a lot of storage in here, but I'm kind of confused as to what you're going to put here. It is on the hard side. It is slightly rubberized, but I can see how something hard might rattle around up here and be a little bit of a problem. We do get 2 USB-C ports here and a very deep well for storing stuff with, again, a hard rubberized mat at the bottom. And then you can close it, but again, as you saw, just the angle of these charging ports, I can't close it here. So yes, this must have been a quarantine design that did not get a full inspection before they rolled it out to the general public. 2 cup holders side by side here, again freed up by the fact that your drive mode selector is right there. A Qi wireless charger that does allow for me to put my iPhone 14 Pro Max here. GM Qi wireless chargers generally work well for me. I haven't had too much issue with them, but I do prefer the Escalades above all others. Very large opening, very large lid to the center console here. It is very long and narrow. You can see we've got a USB-C port in here and a cigarette style lighter in here. More hard rubberized material down on the bottom, and then hard plastics in here. So again, watch what you put in here. It might rattle around a lot on you. Again, talking about the seats, really like them. They look very nice. Coming over to the passenger side, no storage up here, although it kind of looks like you could store some stuff up here, but it really is more or less a design look. Very interesting pattern here that is repeated on the doors. Like the look, I like all the different color stitching, but again, very long view to the windshield up front. The glove box is damped and not lined with felt. So again, if you put something hard and plastic in there, it might rattle around on you. The owner's manual is very thin. They want you to go online through that QR code and learn more about it online. That too is not my favorite. Again, when we had the Canyon, it led me to more or less a generic version of the owner's manual. But yeah, that's all down here. Moving up, we do get a rear view camera mirror, but as you look right here in its non-monitor, non-display screen, if you're using it just like a mirror, that back window is rather tight with those headrests back there. So I absolutely suggest opting for this because it does give you a nice clear view. Get your OnStar buttons up here and your hazard button. No sunroof in our particular model, which is okay. It gives me a lot of headroom here at 5'10". I can sit very comfortably in this one. But before we hop back there, I will say one of my big complaints, I'm gonna have to pop my microphone off to truly show you. Again, going to build quality of this one. So I'm down here with the brake pedal just a little on the squeaky side. I'm sure that will go away with time, but a very interesting brand new vehicle quirk for this Blazer EV. And also I do want to note this is a manual tilt and telescoping steering wheel, but let's hop back into the back and see what the back seat is like. Okay, moving to the back seat, like I showed you earlier, you can get into the vehicle if it is locked from the back doors, which I really like. As a family vehicle, GM, just do that on all four-door vehicles, please. But the doors open up nice and wide, though not to a full 90 degrees. I hope to get one of these soon so that we can do a full child seat installation test and all that fun stuff. But you can see here on the back door still all those different textures and a nice look on the door itself. The seats themselves are a little more on the flat side, but still maintain all the different colors and materials. A little less of the red piping accenting back here, but still a very nice looking back seat. We're gonna go ahead and pop in and sit behind myself at 5'10", and you can see very comfortable, tons of room back here behind myself. And we get some mat pockets on both front seats, so that is a nice touch. Moving to the center console, we get those turbine style air vents that do look a little bit like googly eyes. Two more USB-C outlets back here, and heated outboard seats, three-way heated outboard seats. There is no storage underneath this, no drop-down storage, and it is on the hard plastic side. But you do get a fold-down center armrest with two cup holders, so that is a nice touch. And I mentioned child seat installation just a moment ago, but I do want to call out that Chevy is putting fixed or attached hard plastic covers over the lower latch points. So I like this in that it opens it up to a very easy click and connect without you having to keep an eye on these plastic covers when they aren't in place. I know for us, we get vehicles a week at a time. I generally keep them in the center console, but if you were to own a vehicle for 6, 7, 8, 9 years of using a child seat, I could see how these would disappear over time. Coming to me with headroom back here in the back, you can see at 5'10", I'm just under the roof line here. It would be very interesting if we had that full panoramic roof, what headroom would be like back here. But right over my shoulder here, I can recline the seat just a little bit, just a little. And you can see that frees up just a little bit more room. I am very comfortable back here. I could ride for a long way back here. This is a little wider vehicle than some, and so the center seat here is nice. It sits down a little bit lower than the two seats on either side of it, so I get more headroom back here. It rides with the driver's side on the 60/40 split, so that's a nice touch. And because it's an EV, you can see it is a flat load floor, so I don't have to worry about where my feet are going. I could ride with two other passengers my size back here and be fairly comfortable. Though I would say I could use for a little additional width. This isn't Silverado size after all. That is it for the tour of this one. Now, what you came to see, how does this thing drive? All right, showing off just how easy it is to get in and go. The vehicle turns on when you get inside. You can just buckle up. And one of my favorite features, turned the ventilated seat on while I was showing you around. Ventilated seat is on right now. You know I like that. Go ahead and say okay there. We'll stay in demo mode. Again, thanks to my friends at Gabriel Jordan Chevrolet here in Henderson for allowing me access to this one. But let's get out and see how this thing drives. So, one of the advantages of EVs are the fact that you can stretch the wheelbase, really push the wheels out to the corners, which gives you more room inside. But a longer wheelbase also translates to a better, smoother ride because it kind of irons out stuff just a little bit more. And being that this is an EV with the batteries down below me, it lowers the center of gravity of this vehicle and makes it ride, well, heavier than a vehicle of this size, but more planted than a typical gas vehicle of this size. So it all translates to a very nice ride. And I can say in my limited time in this vehicle so far, it is your typical EV. I have long held EVs make great luxury vehicles. Their power delivery is smooth, linear, and predictable. The ride is very planted and in place. Just something to note of EVs in general. Their weight does ride down low, and that is generally a positive thing. Now, I showed you earlier that I am in sport mode. Let's get out here on this nice cement road and see exactly what this thing is capable of. I'm gonna go ahead, firm on the brake, fully down on the accelerator, let go, and okay. It's rather quick. It's not exactly what I would have expected from the power numbers on this, especially being all-wheel drive. So let's go in here, go through drive modes. I'm gonna go ahead and turn off regenerative braking because I'm sure that doesn't help. And let's see, about sport mode, responsive driving experience. Use smooth controlled motions because, again, yeah, taking off one pedal drive definitely helps out. So we're gonna come to a stop, nobody around, nobody behind. Let's see what this thing is capable of as we come to full stop, full brake, full accelerator, drop the brake. Okay, it kind of builds. And then you can probably hear the electric sound that is being piped through with this one. It's a fun driving experience for sure. I wouldn't say it's like the most exhilarating driving experience. I have definitely driven faster EVs, but again, this is really more of a family vehicle. That's how I would shop this. That's how I would buy it. I will say, taking that turn, again, the EV weight, making this thing feel planted. It's nice. It drives around very well. I will note that squeaky brake pedal, that's gone now as well. So this thing, the more I get out and drive it, the more I like it. Is it a Camaro replacement? No. Am I sad that Camaro is gone? Yes. But overall, this is a fun crossover that comfortably seats 5. Again, that flat load floor back there, very nice. The visibility with this rear view camera is really good as I look all the way around me. So very well built in that regards. Those 21-inch wheels and tires do translate a little bit of road noise from this highly textured pavement down below me, but nothing too egregious, especially in an EV, because there's no explosions happening in front of me to kind of drown out road noise. I would say that this is a perfectly acceptable road noise for a vehicle of this size and of this price. Again, build-in price is not available on this vehicle as of yet, so I really am going off of the window sticker on this one. This starts at mid-50s, and as this one is optioned, is just over $60,000. So it does compete fairly well in the more luxurious, more sporty crossover segment, especially when you're talking about EVs. It is eligible for the $7,500 US federal tax credit. You had to consult, I will not tell you how all that works, but you consult your dealers about how to claim that yourself. But I would say this is a fairly good vehicle that I definitely want to spend some more time in. And on that note, let me know, let Chevrolet know down in the comments that you want us to get our hands on one of these so I can put Holly behind the wheel and so I can put Tucker's child safety seat in the back seat and see what this thing really is like for a family vehicle, because essentially that's what this is, a fun, sporty family vehicle that happens to be electric. So as we get back out into it, I want to see exactly what this is like in traffic with one pedal driving. I'm going to go ahead and put it on high so that I can really use it as much as a brake pedal as possible and see what this thing is like driving around. Again, knowing that I can not only slow the vehicle down, but continue to add power back into those batteries. It is rather aggressive as you let off, so that is something you would need to get used to, but it is very conveniently located on your drive mode screen, and you could just push it a few times to select what level you want. But yeah, all around it is a very responsive one pedal driving system. And I have a full readout here on my current gauge screen showing me just how much power is going back as I let off that accelerator. So coming up to a red light here, I'm just easing off the accelerator. Nice, slow, very easy to get used to if you've driven anything with one pedal braking. Let's see if it'll allow me to come to a complete stop behind this Yukon. Yeah. Just like that. If you don't exactly love that one pedal driving, again, very easy once you figure out where that shortcut is to go in through drive modes, and you can turn that off with the button right here, set at different levels so you can go high, off, or set level. You can go on here, and you can even default it to show on home screen, so I've got a shortcut for it right there, but we're going to go ahead and do it high and continue to see how this thing performs in stop and go traffic here in Henderson. I will say the instantaneous torque of this makes zipping around in traffic very easy and enjoyable. That's really why I like EVs, for their instantaneous torque. No, I'm not going to be drag racing them because, let's face it, it can kind of get old after a little bit of time because they are a little bit of a one-trick pony. But when it comes to zipping in and out of traffic, merging onto the highways, that instantaneous torque really is nice. All right, let's give it a U-turn test, see what it can do. 3 lanes of traffic, full lock. 2.5 lanes, not too bad. Definitely got into the middle lane. Like that. It is fairly maneuverable. I will say lots of turn lock to lock on this steering wheel. That's why you buy an EV. That's why you buy a performance EV. So I will say I brought up the Ford Mustang Mach-E earlier, and I like the IP in this mostly better than that. I like that there is more screen real estate. The Mach-E just had that very small digital screen up front here with a tablet style stuck on iPad-like screen here. I really like the width of the unit that Chevy has put here. That freeform design really translates very nicely in this. The Mach-E really did make an impression on me. I really turned my opinion of what Ford can do around with that one. Same is true here, just with a few nitpicks. Again, moving everything to the screen, kind of making some odd design choices. This is definitely a comparable vehicle to that Mach-E with range and in pricing as well. Really makes me want to test out the SS. That is all from me for this short drive. Again, huge thanks to James Tate and the team at Gabriel Jordan Chevrolet in Henderson. If you want to check out their full inventory or even make this one yours, check the link down below. If you want to see more from us, find us on all social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, X, TikTok, YouTube. Everything is at GT Garage Talk, or you can go to gtgaragetalk.com. Hit the subscribe button and ring the bell so you're notified every time a new video drops from us. Go check out our premium channel on YouTube as well. But as for me, in the RS version of the Chevy Blazer EV, until next time, gearheads, bye.